All right. We're live. Hi guys. We're just giving a few minutes for people to jump in. We're gonna start in a couple of minutes. 2-3 minutes.
Let's see.
All right.
So we could Damaris, you wanna sit here?
Sure.
No.
So excited.
I know. Let me close this door. See. I even tell my boyfriend to close the door here.
So guys, this is something that I'm always confused in. So home insurance is like a topic that a lot of us are in the air about. So can't wait to get this started. Yay! Oh man. Such a beautiful day today.
I know. There's gonna be a lot of traffic going to the beach.
Oh yeah, that was already traffic. By the way, our camera person is not here, which is Betsy, my wife. She's running late. You might hear a door while she's walking in and helping us with this whole live. Just seeing everybody's on. Hey, hey. Is it 10:30?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
Yes. We have some fans.
Yes, I think we got a few.
Oh, great. Awesome. Good morning. You got your coffee, girls? You got your coffee?
Oh, I have
Damaris?
No, I'm
Water?
just
You
like-
good? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Savi. This is Damaris. We will have a chance to introduce them. But I want to introduce myself first. Annabelle from Annabelle's Home. I'm very excited to have our second Facebook Live around real estate. And I want to jump in right away. This is Damaris, our guest
Hi,
for today.
everyone.
So Damaris, you want to say a few words about who you are and a little bit of the work that you, well, more like give like a brief overview of how long have you been in this field?
Sure. My name is Damaris Maderas. I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. I've been doing insurance for about 25 years now.
Wow.
So I hope I can
Wealth of
be,
experience.
yeah, I hope I can be of help today.
Thank you for being here. This is
Sure.
Savi.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted because the camera person just got here. Sorry, guys. I am Sophie from I Choose Freedom. I'm an Insta blogger right now and working on my blog. I'm here because I am learning about real estate. As a lot of you know, me and Betsy are in the process of buying a home. So I can't wait to learn about this topic. And yes.
Yeah. So we actually, one of the things that I wanted to mention, just to jump in right in, one of the things that we're going to be doing today, so we only have 15 to 20 minutes for the entire live. So we're going to keep it short and sweet. But also allocate about 10 minutes for questions. So all your questions, make sure that you put them on that you comment, and Betsy later on going to tell us the question so we could respond at the end. So the first question, we had a few questions, but also want to also encourage you to keep your questions on the comments so we could go back to Damaris and share those with her. So the first one is, well, let me share a little bit about the insurance world. So I personally feel that insurance, I really need a binder. An insurance binder is so complex, right? Like it's like reading a law, some sort of like a closing document, essentially, like very very complex, and making sure that you have the right coverage for your home. So that's one of the main reasons why we decided to do the topic of insurance. So the first question is, can you share a little bit about the different type of insurance that are out there? I feel people are, I personally confuse them a lot, like homeowners insurance, rental insurance, single family. Well, that's homeowners
See,
insurance, but also
still learning.
so
Sure. Well, there's different type of insurance. For example, homeowners insurance is when you live in the property. Then we have dwelling fire, which is you are the owner of the property, but you don't reside in that property, so you just rent. That's different.
Okay.
And then
What's
we
the name
have
of that one again?
that's dwelling fire.
Okay. Okay.
That's dwelling fire, yes. And then we also have tenant insurance, which is very important. Tenant insurance is for the tenant. Actually, it's very affordable. It's very economical. I mean, you can get good coverage because the homeowner, they do have insurance to cover their property, but the tenant are not covered under the owner's
Right.
insurance. So it's very, very important for us as tenant to have that.
And it's not that expensive
No,
either, right?
it's very
No,
economical.
actually, I have it and it's pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap. I mean, I'm
We're
talking
talking
about
$200, $300 a year,
even
right?
less than that. And honestly, you don't need more than $15,000 to $20,000 worth of coverage. And
That's
it's
worth
less
it.
than-
It's actually a save.
with $25 you can start it.
That's great.
We all have $25.
I think I paid $8 or something because I combined it with my car insurance.
You also get discount
Yeah.
too if you combine your tenant insurance with your auto insurance. You can get a discount.
Okay.
So
They call it an
It's
umbrella, right? So you have a
Exactly.
lot of on there,
Exactly.
one
For
umbrella.
all of us penny pinchers.
But it's so
save
important.
any way you can.
Yeah.
Right, and I know we're going to be talking more about homeowners
Yes,
insurance, but
yes.
I feel like the renter insurance is something that people underestimate a lot. Like when things happen, right? When you have an emergency, at home, insurance can go a long way. At least your properties in your home, like some sort of the equipment that you work, your computers, all that stuff is covered, and
Yes.
it will remove you a headache.
Yeah, your furniture,
Yeah.
your TVs. And when something happens, for example, I just had a client that lost his home. I mean, they lost everything, and this was elderly people. But things happen.
Yeah.
But you know what? He was covered. He was well
That's
covered.
That's good.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other type of insurance? I mean, do you mention rental? Sorry, I missed that.
There's auto insurance,
Auto
renters insurance. There's condo insurance too, because
Oh.
when you own a condo, the condo association holds what they call a master policy, but you have to also have your own insurance.
That actually happened to me. My first property was a townhouse, and I was like, "Oh, I'm covered. There's a master insurance." And then when I read the binder, the deductible was $25,000. So if I had a fire and the losses were less than $25,000, that was on me. So I have to get another homeowner's insurance on top of that,
Yeah.
just to be covered. That part that it wasn't covered. So keep that in mind.
So, what exactly is covered? Let's say I'm a landlord and I'm house hacking, and so I don't know what insurance will that be while I'm living in the property, but I have tenants. What
If you-
does that cover exactly?
If you're living in the property, it's homeowner's insurance
Oh,
because you're
homeowner's
living in the properties. Yes, and it covers you. It doesn't cover, for example, it doesn't cover the contents of your tenant.
So, me as a future landlord, I should encourage you encourage your tenants to get
Tenant insurance,
tenant insurance,
which is very affordable.
and make it obvious to them that we are not covering.
Exactly, they do not cover. Yeah, you're not.
I
covering
actually
their
include that on
contents.
my lease, and I go over that with our tenants. Like,
Mm.
I have insurance, and that does not cover you, so I encourage you to do your, to do your own policy.
Which is very, very good on your part because a lot of homeowners out there, and it's probably lack of knowledge. They probably
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep.
So, but
Oh,
it's
they
very,
assume
they
that you're
assume
covered.
they're covered, but they're not. Yeah.
Great.
What usually not cover though? Like, I mean, in general, in terms of homeowners insurance, like what is not covered at all? Like things that are not covered, like flood insurance, like things that people might think that is covered but you're not.
Well, flood insurance is very, very, very hard to get. It's very expensive, and it's only mandatory if you live in around a flood area.
Right.
It's really not mandatory, if you're not around a flood area.
Yeah.
And that is so important. I feel like this when I bought my second property, that's one of the things that I integrated on my research, making sure that I was. And you ask those questions to your broker and
You
your
do.
insurance, like, when you're shopping around, like, it isn't enough floor in air. I mean, do I have to get floor insurance because it's really expensive too? So include that in your research as well, because you could get a little surprise.
I also suggest, any home owner, any, future homeowners, do your homework.
I know.
Ask questions,
You don't want to get to the purchase and sale
Exactly.
process to that point where you're signing everything. You're like, wait, what? I need another insurance.
Yes. So,
Wow.
I think that most of, and life and everything, is lack of education, it's lack of knowledge, it's like, and it's all out there. We can all get it. We all have
Right.
access to it.
Right.
It's not hard.
I also have heard of the things that is not covered. Like, what is it like when the water comes back to the sewer thing?
That actually is an endorsement that you can add. It's called a topsoil package.
Okay.
It's a little pricey.
See?
Yes.
I had another term. Okay. What is the right term?
It's good to learn these terms.
Topsoil package.
Okay.
Topsoil, babe, keep that
Yes.
topsoil package.
And what is it? And
Well, it covers that, like if you have, like the sewer and all that stuff, it covers that. It's a little pricey. It's like, a little pricey, but actually, my daughter just became a homeowner not too long ago, and it was one of the endorsements that I was like,
do it.
you have to do that.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I did that for myself.
You can still do it. It's,
Yeah.
You can still.
Is that
add
something
it.
that you could
can
add
still
even
add
though
it,
you have
yeah.
your year?
You can always, take off. Yeah, you don't have to wait for the policy to renew to make adjustment to your policy.
Oh.
Either, taking off or
That's
putting
good
it
to
on.
know. That's really good to know.
It's not like a health insurance that sometimes you need
Yeah,
to
you
wait
have to-
until
no, you
you
really
have
don't,
the
yeah.
enrollment again to
Yeah.
do it. Okay, that's good to know.
Oh, okay.
You're taking notes, so
I am on mental notes.
Mentally.
I'm telling my wife who's behind the camera to take notes. So I heard or I understand that the insurance rate might be affected by the credit score. Is that correct or is that not correct?
is this a myth?
Is that a myth?
It's kind of like a myth because it's not, it's not really all insurance is affected by your credit score.
Okay.
Okay, so what does affect the location? You kind of mentioned it, right?
Location, the type of coverage that you requiring, and actually when you purchase a home, this we have a calculator that we just put the information and it gives up, because you can purchase a home for $200,000, but then we have to insure it for $400,000. The reason as to why is because if something happens and your home gets total in today's market, it's gonna take $400,000 to make you whole again.
Wow.
So some people don't understand. I'm paying only $200. Why do I have to insure for $400? So we have to go into that.
Okay.
In today's market, it would take $400 to make you a whole again. So that's what you need to be insured for.
Okay.
Hmm.
And on that, and the same line of the question that you just asked, Shelby, like for example, I'm in this neighborhood and location is always important, but I have a pool and my neighbor doesn't have a pool, but I'm sure we pay totally different
Yeah, you pay
fees for my insurance.
You pay a little more only because of the liability of having a pool.
Okay.
So even a trampoline, believe it or not, if you have a trampoline
If it is
in your
added,
home,
that's actually one of the questions I had. Like,
yes.
what are some of the amenities of the pool that you have? Because a kid, a trampoline, so
There's
much
trampoline
pain. And,
liability, yeah.
So you guys suggest, because I wanted a pool, that when I finally get my single family, because my first investment will be a multi, not get a pool in my multi, but because it's a liability.
right.
I mean, you can get it, but
But
it's just
it'll-
going to be a little bit more expensive.
Right.
And I'm penny pinching right now.
So, Damaris, can you talk a little bit also about, I think that's even confusing to me, like the dwelling and what is replaced if there's a fire. Like, I feel like that's terminology is so like, when you insure, when you're reading the binder, what are some of the key things that you recommend for me to look at? Like making sure I'm covered for X. Like, what are some of the key things, like, I also have learned, have heard, I know the term like the, some sort of the liability line, the dwelling, and also like some of the losses. I mean, can you speak a little bit more on 7-year-old like bringing some sort of like someone that will not know anything about this, like more digestible. Like, what are some of the key things that I need to look at the binder?
Well, when you read into binder, when you see the dwelling, that's actually, you know, the
Actual
whole
property.
thing, the actual property. The
Not the
dwelling
land,
itself.
no, the whole
No,
thing. It's
just-
just the
yes.
property. Okay.
Yeah, when you're looking at personal property, it's looking at, you know, like personal, like if someone's fall on your property or whatever the case may be, you know, usually $300,000 to $400,000. That's usually,
For that.
you know, enough. When you're looking at also, you know, your medical payments too, like, you know, someone, you know,
So someone
gets
falls during the
somewhere.
winter.
Yeah, and they have to go to the doctors. They can actually, you know, even getting out of their car and they fall on your property, you know, and they get hurt, they break a
liable
leg
for
or
that.
whatever, you know, yeah. So, you know, you look at that.
Landlords, always clean your driveway.
Yes.
Get you in trouble.
Actually, it's a law here in Massachusetts to clean your, right?
No, you have to. I mean,
Oh,
like,
everywhere law.
yeah, like.
Clean your driveways, your sidewalks.
Well, that's a huge liability, specifically now. So that you're thinking of rental properties, like not only your tenants but visitors too, right? If
Yeah.
they come and they fall on your property, you're liable for that. So that's good. So the dwelling is more like if you get a fire,
And you're
how
finding
much
out-
is gonna be to replace that
Exactly.
space, that some sort of the house, the property itself.
You should also, you know, you look at your deductible. Sometimes agents don't even tell you what deductible they gave you. Only sometimes to make it, because the higher the deductible, the less is your premium.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sell someone a $5,000 deductible, you know, to save them $200, but it's gonna be hard for them if something happens.
Come up with
To dish out $5,000, you know, a lot of people, we don't have $5,000 to dish out, you know.
Yeah.
So I recommend for $500 to $1,000 deductible.
Okay.
You know.
That's doable.
Yeah, because $1,000 was, you know.
So you will pay a little bit more, but then like again, if you come into an emergency,
Exactly.
your pocket won't suffer much.
Exactly. And it could be that nothing ever happens.
Right, right,
But we never know.
right.
Hey, we
Every
gotta,
full of
we gotta be
surprises.
covered though. We gotta be
Well, I
covered.
had a family member, like you never think it's gonna happen to you. And when they call me, like the house is on fire, I'm like, what are you talking about? What? So I mean, it could happen to any.
It can happen to
Anybody.
any of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So last question, and then I don't know if you're seeing any good questions over there, but last question is any tips on saving money on insurance? I know that's something that I always looking for. I mean, like, what are some of the things that I could do to save money?
Actually, on the homeowners, there's not much that you can do. I mean, other than, you know, putting an alarm system and stuff like that. But, you know, on car insurance, like raising your deductible,
Put in an
you
alarm.
put
too.
an alarm, you know, seeing the value of your vehicle.
What is yours? There's another one, the multi-lock on the car that you could do that too.
Oh my God.
Is
I
that
just
the-
went blank.
Yeah, that's the hidden
The
thing.
low
that you-
jack.
The low jack.
The
Yeah.
low jack.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can save
Look.
money on the auto insurance.
insurance.
You see, we're talking homeowner shit,
Okay.
homeowner, auto, everything. So thank you for that. I don't have an alarm, but is it a significant savings though? Like if you do
You
that?
only get a percentage of your comprehensive coverage, but you know, with Hello Jack, which it can save you 35% of that. So that depends on what kind of vehicle you have.
Okay,
You
all
know.
right.
And I suggest to, like, you know, look at your coverage, look at your vehicle. If you have an older vehicle, you know, and it's worth $5,000, but you're paying $4,000 for insurance, is it really worth it? You know, stuff like that.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I think we should get to questions. What time is it, Betsy? We have some time, right?
3 minutes left.
3 minutes. Oh my God, we always hit that number. 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes for question. Any questions out there?
I have a question.
Yes.
From beyond the camera. I totally forgot it. Sorry.
Oh my God.
You forgot your question?
I did.
Is there any other questions on the audience? And that's fine. We could. I actually last week we got all the questions after we went off from the live.
We'll be available to
Yeah,
answer them
absolutely.
after.
Definitely.
I have the question
You
now.
got it now. Okay, came back.
Any so specifically for the company that you work for, any offer discounts, for example, where we having multiple properties, or where Annabelle already has multiple properties. Let's say she has tenants in and says, hey, I recommend you get renter's insurance, or what did you call it? Tenant insurance,
Tenant
right? Tenant insurance is the proper term. like, will your company offer some sort of maybe discount for kind of referring
homeowner.
folks, perhaps? You know, say, hey, you can try this company, you get a discount just because you're renting from me, or kind of they've been great if you
The
don't know
referral
anybody.
type of
Yeah.
discount.
I mean,
like
not
that.
not to double dip, but to kind of, you know, offer something good. You know, you want to build a nice respectful relationship with your tenants. So I'm thinking maybe, is that something that's possible or offered, or?
It's a good question. That's a question that I'll have to do some research for.
No,
But,
absolutely. No,
yeah.
but
That's a great question.
That would be wonderful.
Yes.
I agree with you. Like homeowners being some sort of, you know, no. In this case, I feel like in that particular case, everyone will win, right? Like you will have a secure property, right? Not only yours, but like the units. Sometimes you don't have control of what people do in terms of like leaving candles and like so. But if you have some sort of that shared responsibility, and also refer that to your agent, is
Just
that's
offering it up. Hey,
That's great.
say you live in such and such place, and you'll automatically get some sort of discount, perhaps,
Right.
or
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
something
great.
to kind
I
of
mean, I know
encourage.
that, I know that if you as a homeowners, you bring your vehicle, you bring your, all your homes or whatever, you get discounts. But that's a good question.
Like if you bring your tenants under
Yes.
under the umbrella,
Okay.
that would be good. So we'll get back to that one.
Yes.
I'll make sure to follow up with
Definitely,
the Maris and
yes.
put it on the live because I feel that's a very
That
good
is a
question.
really
Very
good
good
question.
thinking, Betsy.
Yes.
All right, so if we don't have more questions, I think we should wrap it up. And actually, this is going to be our last Facebook Live of the series. We're hoping to reactivate the at least from my end. I know Sophie is going to be super busy, but you're welcome to come back, Betsy. I'm hoping to do more interior design too, live, and I did
She's really good, guys. She's really good. Yes,
she is.
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't give the money. It's just love.
This is not paid.
So I'm hoping to do more of that stuff. Hopefully I will do a live on the baby's nursery, so you can see all the things that we did. My boyfriend actually worked too, so we'll show some of that stuff over the fall. So stay in touch. Follow us on Facebook, on
Yes.
Instagram. My handle for both channel is Annabelle's.home. So you could follow me on Instagram, on Facebook if you want to stay in touch with this topic, real estate or interior design. And to get in touch with Sabi?
Mine is I_choose_freedom in Instagram. I'm not too thing in Facebook right now, but
But you're
eventually
working
I
on
will.
your website.
Yes, I'm working on my website.
Yay.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, so many good things happening in this thing circle.
Awesomeness.
Yes,
Awesomeness.
yes.
And do you want to share your phone number from your office in case people have other questions or maybe talk to you in more detail about insurance?
Sure. That is 978-683-4177.
Great.
Not hard to forget.
Great. Well, thank you so much, everyone who connected. And again, feel free to share this video with your friends.
Yes, share.
And also tell us any questions or any other, concern about this topic. I'm not an expert, as you can see. The expert is here. But I learned a few things today. I
Great.
actually posted today some of the stuff about the credit score that I was under the impression that was something. Because I was affected. Anyway, long story. I was sort of affected at some point my credit score, and I thought it was the insurance. So it was good that you clarified that because I was under the impression it was connected to the insurance. But anyways, thank you for connecting, and I guess see you in the fall.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.